BOJ, real stories, real laughs, and real lessons to help you protect, grow, and manage your money. Mattress savings.
At least my mattress. No charge me to sleep on it.
Partner plan.
Remember last year we needed our payouts early, but Miss Pam gave it to her cousin first.
Or a sketchy loan flyer.
Electrifying deals.
See why making the right financial choices is pure common sense. Brought to you by Bank of Jamaica, empowering everyday Jamaicans one episode at a time.
Grandpa, it's 2026. You can't keep hiding all your money in every single pocket forever.
Thanks for joining us for CVM News at Noon. It's Thursday, May 14, 2026. I'm Akeem Arret. Up first this afternoon, 4 students of St. Elizabeth Technical High School have been charged following the alleged assault of a fellow student. Police say the incident took place between 2 and 3 o'clock on the afternoon of Wednesday, May 6, on the school's compound in Santa Cruz, St. Elizabeth. The accused students, 2 14-year-olds, a 13-year-old, and a 16-year-old, have all been charged with assault occasioning bodily harm in connection with the incident involving a 15-year-old student of the school. Investigations into the matter are ongoing. 2 police officers charged in connection with the 2013 fatal shooting of 2 brothers and their cousin in Shrewsbury, Westmoreland, have been acquitted in the Home Circuit Court. Constables Damien Campbell and Kenroy Hines were freed of the charges on Wednesday after the presiding judge upheld no case submissions made by their attorneys at the close of the prosecution's case. The matter stemmed from a March 15, 2013 operation in Shrewsbury community where the officers reported coming under gunfire while searching for armed men. The cops said they returned fire, resulting in the deaths of Andrew Bryson, his brother Tristan Bryson, and their cousin Kinsley Green. Police also reported recovering a high-powered rifle and a handgun from the scene. The incident triggered fire protests from residents who claimed that the men were unlawfully killed. Following a probe by the Independent Commission of Investigations, INDECOM, the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions recommended charges against the officers. However, after a month-long trial, the court ordered the acquittal of both men. Still in Westmoreland, a mother and daughter have been charged following the seizure of an illegal firearm and unaccustomed cigarettes during a police operation in the Landilla housing scheme. Police say 44-year-old hairdresser Nadaskia Manning has been charged with possession of the goods, while her daughter has been charged with possession of prohibited weapon. Reports are that about 5:20 Monday morning, officers carried out an operation at a house in Farm Pen, Landilla housing scheme. During the search, lawmen reportedly found 22 cartons of unaccustomed cigarettes and a Remington shotgun inside the dwelling. Following investigations, both women were formally charged on Wednesday. The Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation, KCMC, has proposed a list of public spaces and facilities to be renamed in honor of several prominent Jamaicans who have played integral roles in the development of these spaces and communities. Speaking at the KCMC monthly Municipal Corporation meeting, Councillor for the UNDN Division, Andrew Harris, expressed his support towards the renaming the Wenchman Road in the Seaview Gardens Division to the Rodney Price Division, to the Rodney Price Drive.
I don't have too much to say, but I just want to support the resolution. Bounty Killer is one of the best DJ artists, one of the baddest lyricists that Jamaica has produced, and it is good that we can celebrate his life at this point in time. I don't have too much to say, but
The Westmoreland Red Cross Police and Fire Department conducted a weekend of outreach activities across the parish in observance of World Red Cross Day, providing assistance to residents impacted by Hurricane Melissa. Fiona Campbell, a member of the Jamaica Red Cross Westmoreland branch, highlighted the organization's ongoing efforts to support affected residents by facilitating communication services and distributing critical relief supplies to families in need.
Melissa, we have been out in the field. At the office, what we did was we tried to restore family links. We gave the persons opportunity to use the internet, charge their phone, call their loved ones that they haven't heard from. We tried to provide food for them on a daily basis as much as we possibly could.
Campbell says the collaborative effort highlighted the continued importance of humanitarian support and community partnership in helping residents rebuild and recover post-Melissa. Days after residents of Woodsville staged a protest over a collapsed bridge in their community, they are this afternoon appealing to the related authorities to carry out repairs to their roadway, which is now almost impossible due to deplorable conditions. Member of Parliament for Eastern Hanover, Andrea Perkis, says she is aware of the deplorable road conditions affecting the residents of Woodsville and other surrounding communities and is actively working towards getting some assistance. The MP has since invited the Works Minister, Robert Morgan, to have a look at the roads.
I'm using this opportunity to appeal to the Minister. Take a look at the road conditions and how deplorable the road conditions are in Eastern Hanover and Hanover in general. I am inviting the Minister to come down to Hanover. Take a look for yourself. The residents have grown tired. The residents have become frustrated because the road needs some amount of attention and urgently.
The United Nations Development Programme, UNDP, has named Jamaica among the most stable democracies in the Western Hemisphere. That's according to a United Nations Development Programme report published on Monday. The VDEM Democracy Report places Jamaica and Barbados in the top tier of Caribbean countries, above the Latin America and regional average, with scores between 0.75 and 0.82 since the 1990s. Jamaica and Barbados led the first of three main groupings characterized by consistent and exceptional democratic performance. The Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, ODPEM, has recently responded to the results of the Auditor General's report, which reveals that only $26 million has so far been spent of the $1.44 billion donated for Hurricane Melissa relief. The report states that while the collective effort was made to garner the money to aid with recovery efforts for the hurricane victims, ODPEM had no clear expenditure plans. However, in a press release issued from ODPEM on Wednesday, while acknowledging the findings and recommendations obtained in the report, they maintain their commitment that, quote, all relief resources placed under its stewardship are managed transparently and responsibly. ODPEM also notes that in relation to the utilization of donated disaster relief funds, it was intended to support national relief interventions to support the shelter recovery program. The company assures the public that all materials purchased in support of the government-directed roof repair program have been accounted for and brought into ODPEM's inventory management system. Furthermore, the agency says it has also commenced additional measures to further strengthen documentation, stock control, delivery verification, and reconciliation procedures for disaster relief operations. And with that, we take a break here inside CVM News at Noon. Do stay with us.
interest rates and the whole heap of loan payments every month? Take a debt consolidation loan from AIM to pay credit card bills and all other high interest rate loans from other institutions. Make one low monthly payment to AIM and take home some extra money in your pocket. That's financial freedom. One loan, one low payment, more money in your pocket. Call AIM today to lower your loan payments. And remember, you won't find a better deal elsewhere. Guaranteed.
Every great project starts at Creative Building Finishes, Jamaica's only choice for the best tiles, best bathrooms, and best kitchens. Whether you're designing, building, renovating, or selecting materials for your next project, we offer exceptional quality, standout designs, and expert guidance you can trust. Visit our showroom in Kingston or Traxall, or explore full range online at www.creativebuildingfinishes.com. Creative Building Finishes, your beautiful finish begins here.
News at Noon. Work is picking up at the former Wyndham Kingston Hotel, with the developers moving closer to completing the long-delayed redevelopment project. But even as construction advances, questions remain about whether Kingston can support a major expansion in hotel room capacity at this time. The developer has pointed to growing competition from Airbnbs and other short-term rentals, along with changing travel patterns, as factors being considered before a final decision is made on opening the property. Joining us now is Gabrielle Gilpin Hudson, President of the Realtors Association of Jamaica. Good afternoon, Mrs. Hudson. Thank you for joining us.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for having me.
So what does the resumption of work at the former Wyndham property signal about confidence in Kingston's real estate and hospitality market?
It definitely is a very welcome signal in the real estate and hospitality market. Big developments and big investments like that are exactly what we want to see taking place in and around Kingston and St. Andrew, because really and truly, even though people think about Kingston and St. Andrew as maybe a business destination, it really can claim its position as well as a tourism destination.
So the developer has since expressed concerns about whether there is enough demand for more hotel rooms in Kingston. Do you share that concern? Mrs. Hudson? It seems as Mrs. Gilpin Hudson is on a... You're back with us, Mrs. Hudson?
Yes, I'm here. Okay.
Yes, so I'm saying the developer has since expressed concerns about whether there is enough demand for more hotels room in Kingston. Do you share that concern? All right, it still seems as...
Yes, can you hear me now?
Yes, I'm hearing you now. Go ahead.
Okay, great. So I take the concern, and I think what we're seeing for sure in the real estate market is that the demand on Kingston's hospitality sector can be seasonal. So for example, when we'd have carnival season, we'd see, you have to struggle to find a room. The question is, what are we doing to continue to stretch that demand to be more year-round and consistent, right? And what are we doing to ensure that we are capturing all of the economic benefits of these visitors in a particular area and zone, so that way we can benefit from it in a more comprehensive way.
Mm-hmm. So how much of an impact have Airbnbs and other short-term rentals had on the traditional hotel market in the corporate area?
So I definitely see that it has created some amount of competition, but competition is healthy and good in an open market. I think that it shows that different visitors maybe have different preferences as to where they'd like to stay. Some persons always want to stay in a hotel. Some persons want, a more home-like feel and prefer to perhaps stay in an Airbnb or short-term rental. What is important, I think, though, is it's not just about the competition, but how are we facilitating these products connecting together, our Airbnb product is quite scattered across Kingston, and so we don't necessarily have these areas or zones that we can concentrate on to say this is where a lot of our visitors are staying, and concentrate the economic activity and the demand in that area and develop it accordingly. So I think we kind of need to look at that to bring it all to be a bit more comprehensive, because one of the issues that we've seen certainly from the Realtors Association of Jamaica perspective is when you have Airbnbs operating in areas that are more catered to locals and residents, it doesn't always all go well with that type of lifestyle. So some families don't want Airbnbs in the same complex or apartment complex as they are with their kids and so on, with the in and out traffic of that. So again, when you have all of the hotels, when you have a hotel district, or when you have a district where you can expect a lot of visitors to be there, it's a lot easier to continue the demand, continue the activity, the nightlife, the entertainment in those areas, as opposed to just having it scattered all across Kingston and St. Andrew.
So do you believe, though, that Kingston's current tourism and business travel market is strong enough to support both large hotels and a growing short-term rental sector?
I think that we need to do some looking at it. I think that it can be, but I think that it is going to take a little bit more work to spur that type of demand year round, because I think right now it's very seasonal, right? I think that when we look at, for example, the iShow Speed Tour that just happened, it can show you how it's created a new interest in Kingston as a destination. What can we do to really tap into that and to create the year-round demand? So I think that is what is the missing piece in all of this, because it's one thing to have the rooms, but what are people coming here to use the rooms going to do? Where are the places nearby that they can go? How walkable are those areas, so that you can have the economic effects, the economic spin-off, the spend from those visitors trickle into these areas and into the economy in general.
So as the president of the Realtors Association of Jamaica, what are you seeing in terms of investor interest in commercial and hospitality related, real estate in Kingston?
So I would say that in terms of the hospitality interest in Kingston, I'm not seeing it to be extremely strong at this point in time. The commercial activity is strong and picking up. So you see a number of new commercial developments, particularly professional office spaces going up in and around Kingston. So that is where we're seeing the trend mostly right now. I think that where we would love to see the activity going from a resort and tourism perspective in Kingston is downtown too. I think that when we can really unlock the potential and the planning of downtown, that will also all go well for the entire Kingston area from a tourism perspective.
So finally, before we go, Mrs. Hudson, what needs to happen, whether through policy, infrastructure, or marketing, to strengthen demand for urban hospitality in the corporate area?
Great question. So I think we definitely need to do some more marketing. Again, going back to TPDCO's work with the iShow Speed Tour, excellent. We should be looking at doing more things like that to show people what Kingston has to offer. Jamaica is not just beach and white sand. We have a great area. Kingston has so much history, so much culture, gastronomy, experiences, nightlife. There's stuff to do in Kingston. So I think more marketing there, and certainly the Realtors Association of Jamaica would support in any sort of activities like that. And I think just from a policy perspective, we need to be looking at how it is that we are encouraging the industry to develop in a sustainable and planned out way instead of a haphazard way, which we're seeing in the short-term market in particular, right? Because as I said, these accommodations are very spread out. So you're not getting the concentration of the benefit of those visitors in one area where you can have an area that is catering to visitors, right? So I think looking at some policies to kind of decide, okay, this is where in Kingston we want the visitors to come and experience and have a good time, because sometimes coming and experiencing and having a good time is not compatible with when I want to go home and spend time with my kids in my community, right? So I think we need to look at how we're zoning those areas out as well.
All righty, thank you so much. That was Gabrielle Gilpin Hudson, President of the Realtors Association of Jamaica. Thank you, Mr. Hudson.
Thank you for having me.
To international news now, the confirmed number of hantavirus cases from the Honduras cruise ship outbreak is currently 11, 3 of whom have died. In France, a woman who tested positive remains hospitalized in critical condition, while 22 close contacts are being monitored and have so far tested negative. Health officials say the risk to the general public remains low, as the virus does not easily spread between people. France 24 tells us more.
This Parisian hospital is currently home to 3 quarantining teenagers and their parents. The family is among France's high-risk contacts because they were on the same flight from St. Helena to Johannesburg as the Dutch woman who died from hantavirus the following day. All have tested negative, but they're being hospitalized to minimize the risk of the virus spreading and to ensure a swift response should they fall ill.
People can develop lung complications when they become short of breath, and in such cases we need to act quickly, if only to give them oxygen.
22 French nationals are currently under observation in hospitals in Paris, Bordeaux and Marseille, where they will remain for at least 2 weeks, perhaps longer, as the incubation period can last up to 6 weeks. On the reassuring side, initial genome sequencing shows the virus does not appear to have mutated, making it easier to monitor.
There are no indications that this virus is acting any different from the known virus circulating in some regions of the world. All sequences obtained to date